and the restructure. The hustle I have now is not the hustle I had. I felt like I ran my business as a side hustle in 2019 and not as a true business, not the same energy that I give my 9 to 5. I most certainly I give it my business. And I didn't do that before.
Welcome to another episode of Soul Shift Sessions podcast, where we have deep, transformative conversations to help you transform your mind to transform your life. I'm your favorite freedom and financial life coach, Coach Sapphire Starr. And with me, I have my favorite co-host,
McCloud.
and today, guys, we have a special episode. We invited two powerhouse entrepreneurs for our Soul Shift Session panel, navigating the highs, the lows, and the lessons of entrepreneurship. And we're super, super excited to have Dora and Kenetra on the podcast today. Before we jump into the conversation, guys, always remember that you can follow us at Soul Shift Sessions on IG, as well as if you want to be a guest or join the tribe, go to www.soulshiftsessions.com to be our guest. Welcome, ladies, to Soul Shift Sessions. And today we are diving deep into mindset over matter, the soul of entrepreneurship. Oh, I'm excited. Welcome, Dora. Welcome, Kenetra. Before we get in, can you guys, Dora, I'm going to let you go first, but can you tell us a little bit about yourselves and your business?
Awesome. Awesome. So thank you all for allowing me to be in this space. My name is Dora Jenkins. I'm the owner and founder of Petals and Pearls LLC, women's-led transportation company, and also Sole of Blaq Pearl, which is a woman luxury footwear collective as well. Petals and Pearls was created in honor of my dad, who's a truck driver for over 30 years or so. But I also wanted to rewrite the narrative of women in logistics. And it's to encourage all women to take the wheel and truly play a direct role in, I would say, the bloodline of American commerce. But my baby, my passion is Sole of Blaq Pearl. That was established for women like myself who has been really excluded from traditional fashion simply because of our large shoe size. So as a footwear designer, I design shoes not just for luxury, but more so for comfort as well, for what I like to call my big soul sisters. So my mission is not only to provide style, but to empower every woman to walk in every room and own it like the queen that she is. And that's a little bit about me.
Awesome.
That is awesome. I have questions, but I'm going to let Kenetra go. But I have questions.
Hi, my name is Kenetra Saintilaire, and I'm the owner and creator at Flourish Creative Studio, where you get an unlimited experience. It is basically a paint and sip, but not just basically. It also includes a family-oriented environment as well. So we do date nights, we do group parties, and we also rent out our space. Alongside of that, I am a addiction and abuse coach. And so that's something that I have a real passion about, just because of some past experiences that I've had. So I really put my heart and soul in that. But I also enjoy gathering people together at our studio as well.
Dora, first of all, Dora, when you started talking about the large shoe size, I immediately thought about how I was in Atlanta with a friend of mine, like 5'10", 5'11". And we were going to go to this thing that evening that we had not planned for, and she needed some shoes. And I want to tell you, it was a journey.
Mm-hmm. This is my life. This has been my life.
Trying to find just one pair of heels for her to wear that evening was like, it took hours for us to find just the size for her to wear. So I thought that was very interesting. How tall are you, Dora?
I am about 5'4".
Okay.
I'm not super tall, but I'm country fed. So I was wearing a size 7 in women in the 5th grade. I am now in a size 11, wide. I have been here for years.
Yes, cornbread fed. That's what we say,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Grits go with everything. Breakfast
Great.
and dinner. And rice with extra
I,
butter.
Well, I was
I,
like,
I,
when you were telling it, I was like, oh, she must be like 6 feet. She got to be. I did not know that women in the 5 foot range, or 5, 6 and under actually had a problem with shoe sizes. This is a new one for me. So that's awesome.
right. Yeah, and obviously, needed in the space when we think about entrepreneurship and we think about impact, right? And it's like, okay, what is the problem that is out there? How can we create a solution? How can we make a difference? So I really believe like your business speaks to that. I'm curious, ladies and gentlemen, what were some mindset shifts that you adopted along in your entrepreneurship journey? Because as we all know, it's a journey. It has its ups and downs. But what was something in your mind that said, you know what, I'm going to take the leap?
Would you like to go first, Kenetra?
Yeah. So for me, the mindset shift was, hey, I think it's time for you to bet on yourself. You've
Okay.
betted on everybody else. You've encouraged everybody else. You've pushed everybody else. You've encouraged everybody else. You felt fun with everybody else. You need to bet on yourself. And I think for me that clicked because in order for me to leave a legacy, I can't just work the 9 to 5 and think that's going to progress somewhere because it's not actually. It can for some people, but that's not my path. My passion is to, move my family forward in a way that could leave a legacy for them. So I was like, in order for me to do that, I have to bet on myself. I have to push myself forward like I've been pushing everybody else and just do it. Just do it.
I love it.
Me too. For me, it was more of a feeling on the inside that I did not belong where I was. Working at this job, and it just did not, it was like eating away at me. And it's like the only way I could get any relief is if I went out on my own.
Yeah. I would say for me, I think it's short and sweet. I would say progress over perfection. I think over the years, I have delayed launches. I have delayed my true passion because the post wasn't perfect, or even understanding that your network is your net worth, actually. I think I find myself more isolated in the beginning but now I feel like I'm more intentional about building those relationships. So connections mean more to me now. And I believe that those connections have created opportunities as such. And it's built for longevity. But before, I think I walked into entrepreneurship with the mindset of, I have to do this alone. And then when you find your business bestie, because Kenetra's my business bestie, it really just kind of helped me along the way. And I'm going to say purpose over popularity, because trends, I think trends are great, but they can also alter the mindset as well. And for me, it kind of helped, or I would say delayed my vision, because I felt like I wasn't like everybody else. If I didn't have a shoppable website with 30 plus pairs of shoes, if not more, then nobody was going to buy from me. But it had to be aligned with my purpose and truly be authentic, really. Yeah.
Well said. And for me, as a author, an international speaker, and a financial wellness coach, representation matters.
Yes.
It's important for people. We talked about connection. We talked about community. It's important for people to see someone that looks like them, talks like them, maybe come from where they come from, to see what's possible. And as a teen mom growing up in the projects of Savannah, Georgia, I never wanted to glorify, for lack of a better term, teen pregnancy. And for some reason, my mind thought, well, if I shared my story, if I talked about, the ups and downs and everything in between, I would be glorifying teen pregnancy. And I never wanted to be the poster child for that either. But I had to get over that. I had to realize, in the fear of me sharing my story, that the purpose of my passion was far greater than any of that. And so that is what propelled me to say, you know what? My story matters. My story empowers. Me becoming financially free created a legacy. It changed my family tree. It gave me time freedom, location freedom. And I was like, wow, I want to share this with everyone that I know of what the possibilities are, because we weren't created to just work, until we're 40, 50, retire and die. Like, we have one life to live. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And the thing is, how are we doing that? So I became very passionate and purposeful about buying back our time. And how do we do that? We do that with financial freedom.
Correct.
All right, so now I have a question, which is, what was the thing, like, probably, I'm sure there are plenty of mindset shifts that we all had to have during this journey, but what do you feel was the biggest mindset shift that you had to have in order, or is that not even in order to, but from the time you started till now, what was the biggest mindset shift that you had to have?
No fear. No fear. I had to go from fearful to fearless. And really, with God on my side, with the purpose and passion that I have, like, I can't fail. There's no losing in this. It's either win or you learn. So once I switched over from these fears of, that what they call the imposter syndrome, or what I can and cannot do, I'm like, nah, like, no one can do me better than me. So that takes the pressure off, because I show up, I be my authentic self, and I trust in my faith that I am going to win no matter what. Right. Find a way to win, like Les Brown say.
I love it.
Yeah.
I would say for me, simply put, delayed, not denied. I launched back in 2019, a year, and I was like, okay, this is not going the way I needed to go, and I shift. And I believe that shift needed to happen, although I was shifting away from my passion, but that shift needed to happen because it brought me right back to my passion years later. And the restructure, the hustle I have now is not the hustle I had. I felt like I ran my business as a side hustle in 2019 and not as a true business. Not the same energy that I give my 9 to 5, I most certainly give it my business. And I didn't do that before.
Yeah. So for me, it's focus. Like, taking my eyes off of what is culturally said, that what you're supposed to be or what you should be doing, or even to be able to shut down the images that you may see online of what success looks like every day. So having to really focus in on, where is Kenetra going? I was a single mom for a long time. I found the love of my life, and now I'm like, where are you going now? And do you know that same purpose that I had, or that same focus that I had when I was a single mom? It's the same focus I have now. It's just was covered up a little bit with a lot of stuff. So I had to uncover all that and refocus myself. So I would say focus, that just focusing in on, what do you have in your hand? What can you do? What is it that what burns inside of you every moment you wake up? What is it that you're wanting to feed to people that's going to benefit and elevate them higher? What is it that you wanted to do? So focus.
That gave me chills. Yeah. Yeah.
For me, it was getting over myself.
Oof.
Because I've constantly had this thing where I felt that I did not belong, that everyone knew more than me, that I just did not have the knowledge. it took being in a room full of entrepreneurs and hearing their stories and hearing that some of the same insecurities that I had, they had, and they were still able to, rise above that and build these massive businesses. And it was like, oh, I'm whole. And these people really do understand the things that I was feeling and going through, because in my circle, not so much my circle, but in my family and some of the friends I had, they were not entrepreneurs. And so they could not understand what was going on over here and in here. But when I got into that room full of entrepreneurs in this mentorship program, oh my God, that was when I finally embraced that it's okay to build the plane while we're flying. And it's okay to gain the knowledge while you're flying. And that was the biggest shift for me.
That is so important. When you talked about being in a room with entrepreneurs, Dora and I are a part of a business accelerator called Spark Savannah with Startup Savannah. And it's something about being in spaces with like-minded, like-driven people, even if you're in different energies, when you get together and you're on this wavelength, I feel like it propels you forward in such a way that it's just like find your tribe. If you're out there and you're thinking about starting a business and entrepreneurship, find your tribe. That is essential. That's a non-negotiable, I feel, as an entrepreneur in this space, because, we talking about, the highs and lows. And, Cal and I always talk about people see your fruit. They see your product. They see the end result most time. They don't see the seed that was planted, that went into the ground, dark, weeds growing up, having to cultivate those things. They don't see that. And so it's important. They don't see you pull the hoe out, take them weeds out, take them hoe out. Like they do not see that. And so I love this conversation that we're having. And the question I have is, what was one of your lowest points as an entrepreneur? And how did you navigate that? Because I want people to hear that side of our struggle too.
Would you like me to go first?
Yes, go ahead, girl. Jump in. Jump in.
So I'm going to say one of my lowest points was a little over a year ago. I had since shifted from my shoe company, and I started my transportation company, and it was amazing. During COVID, we couldn't keep the store stocked, so it was amazing. Business was going great. And then after COVID, everything started slowing down. So I would say the lowest moment was when I literally decided to park my truck, return back to corporate America, not just corporate America, but return back to the same institution that I previously left from, and wasn't sure how I was going to be received, wasn't sure if it was going to be welcoming, wasn't sure how the rumor mill was going to be, leaving from a role that was in leadership and going back or returning back into an individual contributor role. I didn't know what that looked like for me. But what I do know is at that time, I didn't have insurance. At that time, I had lost almost everything trying to sustain my business. I would say I thought about everything that I lost, but one thing I realized that I didn't lose was my mind. I didn't lose my house. I didn't lose any of my cars. My credit scores wasn't impacted. I couldn't understand how everything else monetary I had diminished. Like everything was gone. But the same things that I walked away with, I still had years later. So it definitely shifted my mindset. But at that moment, I couldn't see it then. At that moment, that was truly the lowest. It was a point where I thought I had made it. I don't have to work a 9-to-5 anymore. I am truly a full entrepreneur. I make my own schedule. I'm building my brand. And then life happened for me. And I had to shift. I had to truly shift.
Wow. Beautiful.
Really?
Okay. And you're still standing. Still
Yes.
standing.
I am still
Still
standing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back. My audio went, my whole video just crapped out on me, and now I'm back. So apparently, my virtual background was causing problems. Here I am. I got the chance to hear most of that, Dora, and that was phenomenal. And going back to work for corporate America, like it does something in here, right? In the over all of that,
Mhm.
Yeah.
in order to keep moving forward, like you can't let that moment stop you. So that was huge. My lowest moment was buying a business or I should say being in the process of purchasing a business and working that business while the owner was embezzling. So we're making sure that everyone's getting paid, but my co-owner and I were not getting paid. And so the stress of not having money to pay your bills and then trying to get this business out of the hole that the original owner had already put it in, that was, oh my God. And then when I get amongst all these entrepreneurs, they make it sound like, oh, embezzling is like normal. A story that someone, or there's an employee or a partner or someone was embezzling funds. And that was it. And the thing is, their numbers were very different than the numbers that I was dealing with at the time. And so that was just one of the biggest low points that I had, because I was very close to having a nervous breakdown. Very, very close.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah. And for me, there was a time in my life where I came to the realization that I was aligning myself with people and things that did not celebrate who I was as a person, as an entrepreneurship. And I found myself dimming my light so everyone else will feel comfortable with me and my glory. And one of the most difficult things, but necessary things I had to do was realign myself, take myself out of those situations. And a lot of those people were very, very close to me. So that was a hard pill to swallow, to think that the people that you are close to, that you think will be rooting for you, weren't rooting for you, and having to make the decision to leave them where they were and take myself on this journey and begin to shine my light as bright. Because guess what? That's not a me problem. That's a them problem that they're projecting. And I had to choose me. We were talking about Taraji B. Henson earlier. It was like, I gotta choose me. I choose me first. Like I had to do that, but I had to go to a low point for me to wake up and realize what was happening during this time of my life. You know, it was crazy. I had just published my book. I was on this book tour, and I was just like, and no one would ever know. Again, as entrepreneurs, we show up, we shine, but people don't see what we're going through in the shadows sometimes.
Yeah.
You raise your hand, Dora. You want to be
Right.
That like
She was like-
witness to her.
That's hurts.
The shaking of the head that goes right along when you hear like a pastor is
Right.
hitting it and he's hitting on your street, like she is just shaking her. And I'm like, she's feeling it. Dora, please name was correct.
We just had this conversation day before yesterday.
Literally,
Oh,
I am
Very,
going
like,
through this.
yeah.
I have been going through this. And it's not okay. And we're not the problem. And I think I always show up for everybody else. But in this season of my life, I am learning to be more selfish than selfless, because I was taught to be selfless and be there for everybody and be you. And everybody needs somebody to lean on, but who's pouring into you?
Who are you able to lean on?
And who can you lean on? And it's okay. Everybody's not meant to go where you're going, and everybody has a season, and that's okay. We have to be okay with elevating. Go ahead, Kenetra,
Coach
because
Sapphire had this
What?
thing where we talked about people doing the best that they can do, but sometimes their best is not good enough for us.
Correct.
And that's
that
okay.
is okay.
And that's okay.
Connection.
That's a whole nother whatever. Because my thing
Yeah.
is that, you know, as you elevate, like we know scientifically, naturally, that only eagles can fly at a very high elevation. It's a whole lot of them. It's not a whole, you don't see a swarm of them together. You just don't. You don't. I always tell Dora, I was like, Dora, we fly with the eagle.
Ooh.
And sometimes the eagle has to fly alone.
We fly with the, correct. Exactly. A lot of times.
Doesn't mean he's any less than an eagle, you know.
Correct. So it's like, anyway, that you have to like know that when I come in a place, when I walk in a place, you have the ability to shift and change the temperature of that room. When you walk in a room and people stop, it's because they're like looking at you like, no, it's because they're trying to recognize like what just came in. Like, that's a real thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Coach Kyle, please share the thermostat and thermometer.
Yes,
Like
yes.
when
So
you
walk
share
in the room,
that really,
when you walk in the room, you're either a thermostat or a thermometer, right? The thermometer changes with the environment. The environment changes the thermometer, but the thermostat changes the environment. The thermostat is in charge of changing the entire climate of the room. And so you automatically know when people come in, because if the room changes when they walk in, that person is a thermostat.
Correct.
I wonder, before I lose the thought, you all were talking, or I should say there was a thought that was sparked because I just recently watched a documentary about the Thunderbirds, which is a demonstration team, an aerial demonstration team for the Air Force. And they have this slogan called blind trust. And they have to trust one another blindly in order for them to do some of the maneuvers that they do. And there's one move that the leader, he does where he's flying literally on a crash course to the ground. And he needs one of his wingmen to fly a certain way because scientifically, the position of the wings lifts him up. And they have to, like when they say blind trust, that wingman is never looking at the ground and he's never looking at the sky. The entire time he is facing the leader. The entire time they're flying. And it's a 45-minute demonstration. For 40 of those minutes, he's looking at the boss. And they have this thing where they go up, they go in separate directions. Then they have to figure out the flight path for them to come back together, cross over each other. So we have 4 planes going in 4 different directions, but literally meeting at the center. And then after that, they have to meet up again and form a diamond formation, all while the boss is flying on a crash course to the ground. And if his wingman is not in the right spot at the right time, somebody dies. And there's no getting around it. Somebody will die if he is not where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there. And that particular person is probably dealing with the most, not only pressure up here, but physical pressure because he has to fly in a certain way that causes so many G-forces on himself that he could pass. So he has to stay conscious and he has to be at a spot at a certain time. His boss doesn't die. And that's what they call blind trust. And when we're talking about entrepreneurs being together, there is a level, I believe, of blind trust can make a huge difference, whether it's with your team or if it's just with entrepreneurs in general. I do have a blind trust in Sapphire. I just know that whatever we have to do, whatever her part is, it will be done. I don't question it. I don't think about it. I just know that it's going to happen. And we have been together for not even a year as far as this podcast goes. We just met a year ago.
And we started the podcast in September of last year. And the same for me too. Like I don't know if I would call it blind trust. I don't know if I like the blind part of it, but I do have, like, I 1000% trust that Cal is going to do what Cal says he's going to do. I don't worry about it. I trust his ability. I trust his experience. And I stay in my lane. He already know that. Like, I know my lane. I stay in it. And I'm like, I know he's going to do his part. And we make a great team together. Because I feel like we operate on this wavelength, too, that we call Cloud 9, where some things are just unspoken, but it's understood.
Now, let me not know.
And
let her have a thought, and I don't know what that thought is that she never said out loud in the first place. Right? Now I got a problem, right?
You were supposed to know this. You were supposed to know this.
I
right.
apologize.
Yeah.
Like, my bad. I should. You're right. I should have known that. And
yeah. And
I don't
think,
know.
Yeah.
Again, for me, it's blind trust because I don't. I have no doubt that she is going to produce whatever she says she's going to produce. And for me, I know that if I don't know it, I'm going to figure it out. And I'm going to figure out in the time frame that I said I was going to figure out. And it may not always be pretty.
Right. That's Kenetra. Wait, that's our same story. Yeah. We have this running joke, like our employer was like, well, they got one thing right. They get things right. They put us together. Like the universe makes no, like literally we were brought together. I definitely feel like she came into my life when I absolutely needed her the most. And I wouldn't want to do entrepreneurship again, ever in life without her. Yeah. I know without a shadow of a doubt, she's already doing it. Right. I believe that she feels the same about me, and we're just elevating together. It is amazing. I love to see it.
And the accountability. That lifting up is so crucial and so critical, because again, eagles fly by themselves sometimes, right? But if you get to fly with another eagle, like what is possible when you fly with another eagle that is literally creating lift so that you can fly at the altitude that you need to fly at.
Correct.
And you're supposed to fly it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's it.
Yeah. Like that is powerful. Guys, I want to ask you this question. I want to know, how long have you been in business, and has your definition of success shift from then to now?
That's two questions.
Oh gosh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
You want to go first?
I can say I've had the heart of an entrepreneur for a long time. However, I think maturing, getting more mature years behind me, I feel like things have shifted what I thought to be true and what is true about success. I think the moment you stop wanting to learn is the moment you kill your success. The moment you're not willing to pivot is the moment you kill that success. So I feel like that if you are learning and you are pivoting, you don't have to worry about the finances coming in, because it's gonna come by you being consistent, by you doing all the things that you need to do. Consistency is another one. It's a big key element. It's kind of like chiseling at ice. If you consistently chisel at the ice, it's gonna break. You just gotta be patient enough to keep chiseling at it. But definitely pivoting and continual learning is so key for me personally, um, to keep moving forward as far as an entrepreneur. So I think that is success to me. That's what I think is success to me.
I like it. I would say that um, I would take a different approach. I think for me, I can tell you what success I thought meant for me. I think in entrepreneurship, especially when you have a product base, my transportation company, totally different. Success to me, I knew exactly what I needed to do. I knew exactly what I wanted in my bank account. And it was just step-by-step instructions on how to get there. When you do a product though, so the difference between a service and product is very different. I thought that success looked like sales, right? Followers, fast growth. And I'm going to say validation too, because I think I found myself trying to prove myself, like you have to be perfect. You have to have this big following. You have to have all these shoes and all these different things. But I think that now what success looks like for me is alignment. Like when a customer walks up to me at a vendor event and they see my brand and my marketing and it says big feet, big energy. And that customer says, finally, a shoe that I can wear. Like that's what success looks like for me now. It's not necessarily about this sale. It could really just truly be that conversation. It could be that spiritual person that walks up to me and says, can I just get your business card? I was led to come to your booth. I don't really want to buy anything right now, but for whatever reason, I was led to come speak to you. Or do you know such and such? You probably should connect with such and such in the community. You guys collaborate. That is to me what success looks like. So that is more impactful. And it brings forth peace, I would say. So I think success to me is more so being seen and showing up, being authentically me now, and not most necessarily focusing on the sale at this moment in my career.
Good answer. Good answer. Like that. Listen, that was my answer. Yeah, good answer. That was my answer. Like word for word, bar for bar. Like that. That was like how I was feeling. Because for me, Organized Chaos was incorporated 5 years ago during the pandemic. Now, before that, like you said, like Kenetra, I've always had the entrepreneur spirit, always had side hustles, always grinding, always hustling, right? But I officially went into business in 2020. And for me, success was actually launching. Success was writing my book. Success was creating and designing a website I had never done before, self-publishing I had never done before, getting my first client, which I had had clients before, but really launching that and getting it out there, a system like a vision I had in my head. And now it's something tangible I can touch, I can feel. And then once I did that, it becomes, okay, now what? And then now for me, it's the impact is when people come to me and like, man, when you shared your story of being a teen mom, when you shared your story of paying off $33,000 worth of debt, saving to invest, traveling to 25 different countries, showing others how to live freely, man, that inspires me. That you make money simple, you make freedom possible. That to me is real impact, because I feel the money will come, the sales will come. If I focus on my passion and my purpose, all while being intentional, all while showing up 1,000%, that's success to me.
Wow.
I love it.
I would say for me, it's a new thing for me as far as success. Like this definition for success for me might be like a week old. And but you all hit on it. You all hit on it, which is, and especially you, Kenetra, when you talked about reading, but it is growing. Constantly being willing to grow. And I think all of you have, in your own way, have mentioned that you literally put yourself in situations where you are forced to grow. Dora, you gave up. I should say you gave up, but you pivoted from your passion and then came right back to it, right? you put yourself and going to corporate America also is putting yourself in a situation that is forcing you to grow. And so for me, success is twofold. One, constantly putting yourself in position to grow, which means that those tough situations, deliberately putting yourself, like if you are doing cold calling for your business and you only could get through 10, and after 10, you are just drained. But what if you make a commitment to do more than that and putting yourself physically in that place where you have to do more? So that's one. And then the other is leaving people better than you found them.
Yes. Yes.
Love it.
That is amazing. That is amazing. What advice, as we're talking about the soul of entrepreneurship, what advice would you guys give someone that is wanting to start a business, or someone who's just getting started in entrepreneurship, or even the advice you would give to yourself, knowing what you know now, to the person that's starting out back then? I'll answer that. Mine is trust the process and find a community, find a tribe where you can learn, where you can grow, where you can be guided. Find you a mentor or a community. That would be my advice to anyone starting out, but also the version of me 5 years ago. When I got started, it was trust the process and find a tribe.
I love that. I love that. For me, it is gone back and forth in as far as hearing things about that. It doesn't have to be hard, but it is hard, right? There's these two different sides of the scale, and what I am getting to now is it doesn't have to be hard. But if you put yourself in situations that are harder for you, you will be forced to grow. And so be okay with putting yourself in hard situations in the name of growth.
I would say for me, I can be kind of stubborn. So now I can speak to the other version of myself. I've always been determined, but I haven't always been consistent. And it would be, I'm an affirmations girl. I'm a sticky note, like Gabrielle Union, write everything down and literally on the mirror. But I would say, why not you? Start anyway. Don't shrink yourself to fit in. Build something that fits you, right? And Coach Sapphire, you said it earlier, I have been working on this daily. Stop dimming your light to fit in because you're not meant to fit in. Like that alone, that right there, if I can say that to myself every day, that would bring forth change for me. And just stay rooted. Remember your why, because your why doesn't always look like everybody else's why, and that's okay. Be authentically you.
Yeah.
That's it.
No pressure, Kenetra. No pressure.
Yeah. No pressure on myself. I actually would have to say you need to know who you are. You really need to discover who you are in order for you to know what you want. And yes, you will along the way, like find things that you like and, but at the bottom of it, like know who you are, which leads to knowing your purpose and knowing how you are going to be impactful. I can't stress that enough. I feel like in this time of my life, I have been the most sure about what I want, who I am, and encourage others to be who they are. That's what I know. And so definitely know who you are to get to knowing your purpose.
Well said. Like, ladies, gentlemen, we are dropping gems today. We are dropping gems. And now we're to my favorite part of Soul Shift Sessions podcast. This is our rapid fire round where we ask questions and you give us like a 1-minute answer. And so, Dora, I'm going to start with you. What's one small decision you made that ended up creating a massive shift in your life, personally or professionally?
Returning back to the corporate America job. Because not only that small shift was so powerful. At that moment, it was a survival tactic. And it was like, I got to do this because I have nothing else. Like, I need insurance. I need a steady paycheck. But I didn't realize that the universe had bigger plans for me. In this year, I have cleared debt. I have found my person. I have truly been connected with other like-minded individuals, other entrepreneurs. I have successfully done things in both businesses to actually help both businesses. I've even got a promotion. I just started my new position 2 weeks ago. I came back for survival and didn't even know a year later. I could not tell you a year ago that I would be here in this space, in this podcast with my business bestie, a part of Spark Savannah. Sales monthly, my outreach, everything is in green. When I look at my dashboard, I didn't know what life was going to be like, but I knew I didn't look like this. And that I knew.
That is
Wow.
so
Wow. Yes. Like that's gems. Yes. Kenetra, what is the wildest or most spontaneous thing you've done in the name of personal growth?
Well, last year.
It's going to be good when you start laughing. I was like, it's going to be good. I was like, it's going to be good.
Comfortable. So last year,
Talk about it.
So last year in March of last year, I actually seen someone who was wanting to get rid of their art studio. I called my husband and was like, hey, what you think? He was like, honey, I trust you. You talking about blind trust. Listen, if I could tell you so many stories. So he was like, yeah, let's do it. I was like, okay. You know, we invested monies in it and everything. We started off with a business partner, and due to not having the same vision, we dissolved that relationship. It wasn't great because it was a lot of dishonesty and everything. But I think in the moment when I said, honey, what you want to do with the business? That was the moment I kind of wanted to just throw in the towel and be like, I'm done. And he was like, oh, we're going to do great, honey. You're good. So I'm like, what?
Wow.
We just lost money. We got a building to pay and everything. What are you talking about, sir? That is the wildest.
I love that. Talk about support. Talk about just blind trust, like trusting the process.
I love how people around us that are in alignment sometimes see more than we can see. Things that you can do. I trust you. You are good at this. You can handle this. And it's like, are you sure? Like, are we talking person? I didn't get those types of vibes about myself. So what is it that you see that I'm missing? You know, and the thing is, we don't have to actually ask the question. We could just say, okay. And if they are blind trusting us, then let's just go ahead and trust ourselves and go right on through whatever we have to go through to reach that particular destination. But at the same time, are you sure?
Yes. For real. For real.
Yes. And now this question is for the both of you. It's the last question in the rapid fire round. And Dora, I'll let you go first. if your mind had a theme song that played every time you had a breakthrough, what song would it be?
It could be anything, right? It could be anything.
It could be anything.
Be the most, not that it's going to be a ratchet song, but it could be ratchet.
Right. Because
It
I was
can
like,
be.
it depends on who you ask. Are you asking Dora or Pearl? Blaq.
Like what?
Well, give us both answers. Dora
Like,
and
you know a little
Pearl.
about Pearl.
You're like, what? Okay. So I would say I'm a Jeezy girl, right? So sometimes it's like a standing ovation. It's the everything because it gets me going, right? However, Dora would say, Alicia Keys, This Girl Is on Fire.
Ooh. Girl, that is so funny because we have a theme song, which Kyle, we have
I was
not
gonna
played in
play
a
it
long
today,
time.
but I didn't have like everything set up, right? And so I didn't play it. But that was going to be my song to your question. That was my revised song to your question, which is Welcome Home by Yeezy.
That's
Ooh.
our
Wow.
green room song that we play to get us amped up before we go
Right
on
on.
live.
I
Yeah.
love
Still
it.
Welcome Home is Welcome Back. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, yeah. Kenetra, what you got?
Yeezy song.
I think I'm like, all
I
do
love
is
your
love
laugh.
you, no matter what.
Yes. Yes.
On everything.
Mm-hmm.
And my new one now, because I love affirmations and I am and you are, let's be great. But listen, that affirmations by Flip, I didn't even know I needed a ratchet affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
This
works.
is a new one
It
for
works.
me. You got to send this to me.
Affirmation. I'll send it to you. Listen.
Now, me and Kenetra have keep on stepping together too. So when we do events
that's
together,
our
we
theme
have
song.
our theme song is Keep On Stepping, the new the trail ride song right now. That is ours, right? Like it pumps us
It
up.
just
Like
hands down, yes.
love it.
Absolutely love it. Ladies, where can the soul shifters? Well, first, Dora, and I'll let you go. Tell us what you have coming up and where can the soul shifters connect further with you?
So my brand is big in the community. So we're always doing local vendor events. So this upcoming Saturday, we'll actually be at the Tanger Outlet in Pooler for the Juneteenth Festival. We actually have 3 that we're attending this month, alongside some other events as well. However, and I'll let Kenetra speak to the event that we're going to be doing together as well. But as it relates to any social media handles, you can follow me on Sole of Blaq Pearl on Facebook and Instagram. I do have a website as well. That's www.soleofablackpearl.com. If you're local here in Savannah, or at least within 50 miles, we do same day delivery. And outside of 50 miles, we do ship free as well.
Yeah, awesome. All right.
So you can the upcoming events that we have Island Vibes, just a celebration of the Caribbean heritage, which is going to be on June 28th. And then the other upcoming event is going to be in July 12th, where Dora is going to be doing some line dancing instructing. And we are going to be painting and dancing and all the things on July 12th at 6 p.m. at Flourish Creative Studio. My social media handle is Flourish Creative Studio, and that's on Instagram and Facebook. My website is www.flourishcreativestudio.com. And come on over and see us. And come on out July 12th and get your step on with Dora.
Yes, because we're
Watch
going to be
the
moving and grooving.
Yes.
We sold out last time. That's why we have to have another one.
Yes. Yes, I'm coming to the next one. I couldn't make the last one. I'm coming to the next one. I
Come
love a
on
good
over.
line. I got my fan in my boot. I'm ready.
All right now.
And let me
Yes.
tell you, when you put a
Yes.
fan in this child's hands, oh, baby, that's all I have to say. Right? I love about my co-host, right? Because she is class and a whole lot more.
I love it. I love how he said that.
Classy and more. You see the pearl. Yeah.
I love that.
Well, listen, ladies, we truly appreciate you coming on Soul Shift Sessions, sharing your story, sharing your entrepreneur journey, sharing the mindset over matter, the soul of entrepreneurship. Listen, Soul Shifters, if there was something that stood out to you during this podcast, please put it in the comment section. If you know someone that can use a soul shift, please share this podcast with them. And again, if you want to be a guest or join the tribe, go to www.soulshift.sessions.com, guys. Always remember to let your soul glow. Till next time. Bye, guys.